So for those who have been on the channel for some time, you probably know about my, less than stellar relationship with LEGO, more specifically LEGO Star Wars and the constantly devolving state of that brand, mainly financially. But usually, no matter what's going on with the LEGO set, we can usually find at least something to praise about it, either with the minifigures included in the set, the building techniques used, or hell, even the pieces that are used. But never in my over 15 years of buying, building, and breaking down LEGO sets to turn them into something else, did I ever gaze upon a net negative LEGO set, at least in my eyes, and surprisingly, it is for one of the most elusive and highly praised type of sets in the LEGO Star Wars community. I mean, this is so egregious that this set is the type of set that people are usually fine with being expensive, but even this was too far for even LEGO fans. From the price, to the figures, to the build, and even to the micro builds within the set, people have found nothing but problems with this new UCS Death Star, and it hasn't even been officially released yet. There is a lot going on with this new UCS Death Star set, and to understand what's going on exactly, we have to go way back, all the way back to when this set was first rumored to exist. So let's see where this disaster began to rear its ugly head. Now, unfortunately for us, I wasn't able to find exact dates on when this stuff happened, so I apologize for that, but I at least have a timeline of events to go down, and holy crap, this is going to be a lot. This all started months ago when it was leaked that we would be getting another UCS Death Star. If you don't know, all the way back in 2005, 20 years ago no less, which... oh my god, LEGO actually made a UCS Death Star 2, and as you can see, people were actually pretty hyped for this new set. If this new Death Star was going to be anything like the 2005 one, which it wasn't, we were in store for a pretty good set. But then we realized that this would be the most expensive LEGO set to date at $1,000. Even at the time, a good portion of people were skeptical about this set until we learned that it was meant to have a ton of figures. And it got even better when we learned that it was rumored to have more than 40. That was the signal to everyone that this $1,000 set was actually meant to have an interior, and because of that, people were very excited, and I mean, they were hyped, and for once, nobody was really complaining about the price. People were actually ready and willing to part with that $1,000 because in return, they would be getting a massive LEGO Star Wars set, and that would be solidified when we learned that the set's proportions were going to be 27.5 inches tall and 31 inches wide. That's literally 2 feet in every direction. Now, I just want you to keep in mind that everybody at the time thought this set was going to look like this, or at least something similar to this, and because of that, everyone was just excited about the set in one way or another. But then we got more leaks, and by leaks, I mean almost every minifig in the damn set. Now, when we saw these figures, a lot of people began to notice something. They weren't as detailed as many expected them to be, and to understand this, we actually need to talk about UCS sets as a whole. You see, UCS LEGO Star Wars sets are all considered to be collector's items, and because of that, the figures themselves are usually way more detailed than other sets, so people feel like they're getting a bang for your buck. So many saw it as extremely weird that a lot of the mobs and other Imperial officers didn't have dual molded legs. So because of that, many people were extremely displeased, but to be completely honest, there's like 40 figures in here, so I kind of excuse them on that. Not to mention that one of the exclusive figures, the Hot Tub Trooper, wasn't from the complete saga, but was instead from, the Skywalker saga, because he was wearing the Family Guy helmet and matched the model in that game. Then the rumors about the set itself leaked, and that's when things got wild. Around the same time, I don't know if this was before or after we saw the minifigures, many of the reputable leakers online were beginning to say that this Death Star wasn't even a full Death Star. In fact, many of them were saying that it was half of a Death Star, and we actually did get a couple of leaks on what it actually was supposed to be, but nobody really wanted to believe that. Now, I already covered this in my first LEGO video going over the 2025 wave, but as you could probably tell from how I reacted to it, nobody really liked those sets, so we were all really worried that this new UCS set was going to be a stinker like this wave. Now, once again, there were no actual pictures of the set outside of the minifigure sheet that was shot like it was going on a body pillow for some reason. It was more like drawings of the set because once again, all of this is under lock and key and LEGO doesn't really want these to get out. There's a reason why they are called leaks, and as you could probably guess, this completely annihilated hype around the set because once again, we weren't even getting a full Death Star, and it was supposed to cost $1,000, and then some because of taxes. But at least the ship was still somewhat floating. But as this borderline disastrous news about the set began to leak out onto the community, the pancake rumors began to swirl. Now, from what I understand, this started with people mocking the set using the Angry Birds Star Wars Jenga Death Star, but slowly over time, a couple of leakers came out saying that this is how the set was going to look. And when we got that news, that's when all of us began to realize, oh crap, what if this is actually how the set's going to look? And people began to worry and cope. Hell, even I was one of them. Yes, I was never going to buy this thing, and I was laughing my ass off with the rest of the community at the sheer audacity and hilarity that this thing was going to be a half sphere, but even in my mind, there was literally no way in hell that Lego, the company estimated to be worth $25 billion and makes almost half of that every year, was going to sell us a slice of the Death Star for $1,000, and that would continue to persist in the community. Even then, leakers saying that it was going to be a pancake didn't exactly have any proof outside of their word. And then August 10th happened. When I woke up on the 10th, I for some reason felt a, disturbance in the force, so I decided to check my phone, and after my eyes adjusted to the screen and YouTube, the first thing I saw was a leak of the UCS Death Star with an actual picture of the damn thing. And when I saw it, I nearly lost my mind. The pancake theory was real, and I was reeling. I was reeling so bad that I actually crashed out in my Discord because the first thing I saw in the morning was a goddamn pancake. You could actually see this first part of my crash out in the Discord, and this is the second part, so links down below if you're curious. But I was not the only one losing my mind. People who saw it in Discord were shocked, stunned, or mocking Lego for the price. So since we're here, let me trash this thing for the entire world to see, because oh my god, this is bad. Like, it's really bad. Firstly, this thing sucks for the sole reason that you can only position it facing one direction. UCS sets are not big just for display, they are huge because the designers are trying to cram literally as many small details into the set as they possibly can, so it can look good from every angle. Since this thing is a cylinder, it looks awful from the sides, and I will bet money that the back is completely barren, so you could literally only pose it one way, pressed against the wall, facing forwards. And you can't even do that because the stand exists, and there's this big brick. So you're going to have a ton of empty space behind the set. And before you get on me, I know that this was probably based off of this image of its interior. But to be perfectly honest with you, it doesn't really work in practice, since the main appeal of that is all the wiring and stuff, and not random rooms sprinkled around. And speaking of those rooms, I honestly do not like them at all, because to me, they feel like they've just been crammed in there for the minifigure's sake with no rhyme or reason. And some of the rooms are just inaccurate or don't make any sense at all either, like the Emperor's Throne room, since all of the glass in there is red, when in every other depiction of it, it wasn't red, it was just clear. Hell, you could even make the argument that it was blue. And if you think that's bad, one of these rooms entirely shouldn't even be on the Death Star in the first place. Darth Vader's meditation chamber, which was lazily stuffed in the corner in my eyes, is from the Executor, the Super Star Destroyer, and the only other place we saw it was in his castle and lore-wise a Venator. This isn't like a scaling problem, and if it was, I would have completely excused it because once again, they just crammed these tiny little rooms into this Death Star, but this is stuff that took me like 2 minutes to research to make sure I was correct. This Death Star doesn't feel like something to be displayed. It feels like an oversized playset, and I'm pretty sure that it is, but that just raises the question of, who the hell is going to buy their kid a $1,000 playset? But getting back to the rest of the community, all bets were completely off, at least from what I've seen. Remember, the only reason that most people tolerated the price of this damn thing is because it was implied to be a massive Death Star, bigger than we have seen before. So when it turns out that it's not a massive Death Star, but instead a flat pancake that is as big as the Millennium Falcon UCS set tipped on its side, you know, the set from 6 years ago, it's no surprise that nobody wants this thing, and that's been echoed throughout the entire community. Literally every channel, every Reddit post, every forum discussing this damn thing. There is going to be somebody down there in the comments, or hell, even in the video itself, saying that the set is not worth it. And if all of this backlash is anything to go by, all this is really telling me is that people really hate what LEGO is doing with LEGO Star Wars and its pricing. But with that said and done, this is where I'm going to end things today. Now, before we go, I just want to tell you guys that this video was made on the 10th of August, the day that all of this came out, because yes, I was just that pissed off. All of this information is subject to change by the time I put this video out, so with that said and done, I would like to thank you all for watching. Like always, hit the subscribe button if you enjoy content like this, share this around so I can grow the channel, leave some comments down below to make the algorithm happy, check out my usual Skylanders content like Return to Skylands, my lore videos, and my Skylanders reviews, and a bunch of other good stuff down in the description below, and I will see you all in the next one.